Hello, and welcome back to another Northwood Tales Spoopy podcast, where we are going to talk about the struggles of a creative person,
yes,
more or less an artist.
Well, yeah, that encompasses like so many different things.
Yeah, someone who went to a liberal arts college in hopes of having a more creative
both of
degree.
us did. Yay. What did you get? You got your bachelor's of science?
I think it's a science.
Okay.
I didn't take a language, but I think they still gave me a science.
Yeah, because I have a bachelor's of fine arts. So I have a BFA.
You have
I have the worst of the
you
bachelors.
I thought you were given both.
I was given both incorrectly. They gave me a bachelor's of science, and I fought for my bachelor's of fine arts, even though the bachelor of science is probably a better degree.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did with it, though. I framed the other one, my actual one.
Frame both of them.
I know, I gotta find it. It's in a tote at my parents' house somewhere. But yes, technically I have 2 bachelor's degrees.
Yes. Going to school to be essentially an artist, and then as soon as you graduate, they're like, all right, that was fun.
Yep.
Good luck.
They didn't help us at all.
No.
Like,
we love our college.
Our professors were great.
Yeah. But the
other, like, the
aftermath.
Higher up, yeah. The higher up, like, I guess is it deans and chancellors and stuff?
Administration.
Who are supposed to be helping you
Yeah.
acquire said job after college did not help whatsoever. And I'm not sure if we had to reach out to them or like, what? Like,
was it like the what's that? What was that room that you could go in to search for jobs? What was that place called?
I don't remember.
It's not the job center.
But I've been in there before. Yeah, I was in there like once. But I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's you can specialize in what we specialized in, but it's not enough if you want to actually make money.
Yep. Or
like,
they want a master's degree, but then I'm like, is it even worth going to school for a master's? Because I have a coworker, and she did education, specifically in art. Like, so she's an art teacher, but she had a master's degree, so she was in a lot of debt.
Well, not only that, but you have to be, I guess, you have to have a degree in art and then also training as a teacher, which is its own certification to begin with.
And it's different in every state, too. So she was only qualified to do it in Ohio. So
just Ohio? Oh, that is maddening.
Yeah, and then they moved to D.C. once her and her husband, he got like a job opportunity over there, and they moved. So she just did educational stuff that you didn't necessarily need to be certified in over there because it's a different district. It's a different state. Nice. So there was different qualifications that she had to like get certified for, and she was like, no, let's just do this job. So
that's, I mean, for us, like, I got a degree in digital cinema, which is essentially filmmaking, but because we are taught how to use different cameras, different editing software, we can also do TV, which is what more than half of my, I guess, production class.
Is that what they wanted to do, or did they all want to make movies like you?
We all want to make movies.
Okay.
Which, I guess statistically, I think, I mean, no one I know personally from when I was a freshman to when I graduated, no one within that, from who I had classes with,
like your
has
community
gone
of
to
people.
Hollywood.
Well, even like small films though, like no one's done any.
No one's even been to like the Toronto International Film Fest or Sundance.
Yeah, like the bigger ones. There's been a couple, haven't they? Small film fests that they've got into. That was for like documentary work, right?
Yeah, it's only documentary. That's the easiest to submit to any film fest, is a documentary, because it raises awareness and there's like a drama. Yeah. There's like tea involved.
Anything like educational too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so at least it's good to get it out there, and they're open to accepting that stuff and putting it out there.
Yeah. But that's why so many people wanted me to put our Orca doc in Film Fest. Even you pushed.
I tried pushing for it. Your professor pushed for it. I said, I tried. She didn't listen to me.
I know. Well, at the time, I guess there weren't film fests to submit it to. And then I don't think
Yeah.
I can anymore because that
There's
was
like
like
a-
4 years ago.
Yeah, they need there's like a time frame,
Yeah.
and everyone's submission dates are different.
Mm-hmm.
They want it done and even when I was looking at for like grants for like film stuff, it was like you have to get everything filled out in the fall, sent in, and then if it gets improved, everything gets done in the spring. It's like a long
you're
process.
waiting essentially a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so hard because I don't want to go into TV unless like HBO is like, hey.
Well, you could always move out to LA like all the YouTubers
absolutely
do.
not.
I mean, that's probably
I hate LA.
a
I've never
foot
been
door,
there.
Meet somebody.
Never been to LA, and I refuse to go to LA. It's
Oh.
so crowded.
I've been there once. I went to Malibu. Ooh, it was nice. No, Laguna Beach.
Yeah,
That's
a
where I went.
little different.
There was
I
a lot
think.
of art galleries.
Yeah,
like along
that's a
the
little
beach line.
I think you
That
went.
was
Yeah.
nice.
No, but like every. I don't know. There's too many people.
Yeah.
Too many people.
I went to Disneyland too, or Disney World.
Hell
What is that?
yeah.
Disneyland over
Yeah,
there?
that's land.
Disney World is south.
Yep, that's
Florida.
in Florida.
Okay.
But Disneyland, that was the
busy.
original.
It was very busy.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Ew.
And I wore denim and I went on the Splash Mountain. So I had soaked pants.
Ew.
For the rest of the day.
Wet
They
denim.
wouldn't dry. Oh.
But what about you? You have. Well,
Yeah, my Bachelor
technically
of Fine Arts.
and
I
that's-
did my major is studio art, so it was my mediums were like anything from like oil paint, acrylics. That was probably the majority. And then I did minor in photography, which I did a lot of film photography and really like that. Before it became popular. I'm like that
Before,
hipster. Like before it was, I liked it
Let
before.
me take a picture with my Polaroid,
Right.
and it's not.
It's an Instax. It's not a Polaroid.
They don't really
Oh,
necessarily make
I got
like
beef with
genuine
that.
Polaroids anymore.
No, you can find the old ones.
I mean, we got so many at thrift shops.
The Impossible Project, but now they're Polaroid originals.
Mm.
They bought the warehouse. This could be a whole nother conversation, but they bought the warehouse with all the machines to make the new Polaroid packs. That's why they're still selling them. Formula is a little bit different because you used to be able to get
you can't
10.
shake them, right? You can't shake them
Normally you
anymore.
weren't supposed to anyways.
Oh.
It messes with the chemicals that develop your photo.
Oopsie.
But now they make it where there's only 8 in a pack, but they used to make it in 10. So the formula is a little bit different. It's a little bit thicker,
Yeah.
but they use like the same stuff because they bought the warehouse, which I think is really cool. I really love the company. That's
Yeah.
where I get obviously the only place to get the
Mhm.
instant film stuff. So, but anyways, I went through a lot of like
Oh, you went back and forth.
career what
I remember this.
never really knew what I wanted to do. Even before I went to our university,
Mhm.
I wanted to go to Minneapolis and go
You
to the
wanted
Art
to be
Institute
I
and
thought
do
you wanted to
animation.
be a gopher.
Mm-hmm. Well, that, because I also wanted to still run track, but I knew I couldn't make it to be a
Right.
gopher. I
There's-
wasn't that good.
Even when I was really good in high school, my marks were never
Yeah.
close to like
And they're not even a
D1.
D1.
I thought they're D2, right?
They're D2. Yeah, they're not even D1. But that, I always wanted to do that, but I know it wasn't realistic. And the campus is huge, which is terrifying. So I
Mhm.
wanted to go to the Art Institute and do animation. Heard that is crummy, and they just take your money
Oh,
and
yeah.
don't do anything. Kind of like what our
Mhm.
university
any
did. They
any
don't help you.
institution, any
Yeah.
any art institution.
Mm-hmm. They
Takes
try
your
to
money.
they hone in your skills in one specific area,
Yes.
but then
It's like a tech school.
they don't help you afterwards. At least
Yeah.
tech schools probably do. They're
Yeah,
like,
like
here.
a basic tech school will teach you how to be really good at one thing, and then like you are instantly like when you graduate you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like mechanic stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's really good, but I don't want to be a mechanic.
No,
I just want to make movies, and I don't even want to be famous for it.
you've honed in on yours, and I'm all over the place. And then
Yeah.
after the animation thing, I was like, okay, I like art. Let's do that. But then I switched mid semesters, and then I'm like, I've always wanted to be like a marine biologist or like a vet when I was younger. So I was like, let's go into that. Not smart enough for chemistry or math. So I switched back to art. And then I've always jumped back and forth, like, what can you do with an actual, like, bachelor's of fine arts? So then I was like, well, I kind of want to be a curator. But that is just, they want so much training, and they don't get, nobody gives you training for this.
Yeah.
Even if you got your master's, they'd still probably be like, well, I want, like, 7 years experience somewhere. I'm like, well, everyone else wants the same thing, so I have nowhere to get experience at. Which is even for like right now too. Even entry level for any job.
Well, there was a job opening at MIA, the Art Institute, and it was for their Korean exhibit. But in order to get that position, you had to be fluent in Korean.
I've seen that one because I creep on their job listings.
Yeah. I'm like, I love Asian history, but I just know how to say hi in Korean.
I've applied a couple of times, but they never get back to me. Even like in the archival department, like just something. Yeah. Anything. I'll do security.
Let me sit at the front desk. Yeah. I love that place.
But yeah, this year has got me this last year has got me thinking like, well, graphic design's big, but then it's also, there's so many people doing it. Yeah. That it's saturated job. Well, so it's like, it's hard to get in that way then too.
That's the creative field. Yeah. It's extremely competitive. Because you have to be good. Like, you have to be above average in order to make it.
And you have to have like your own like niche or like style. You can't have anything similar to any, even slightly. Because then it just puts them off like, oh, you're too much like this, we're not looking for something like that. Or it doesn't set you apart from anybody. And even like for filmmaking too, it's like, well, this idea seems overdone, or like, I've heard this idea before, I've heard this script idea or something similar.
Even I'm writing something, it's that, I don't know if I've told you about this one. It's like the kind of like the Indiana Jones, but set in the 80s. That one where
roughly,
I've kind of like, I'll pick at it like once a month, but there's like 3 major scenes that I'm like, oh god, this is just like this movie and this movie and this movie. I'm like, oh crap.
And that's hard. But, yeah, because then I get influenced by like books and stuff like that too when I'm trying to think of like short stories.
And then you're terrified because you're like, well, I don't want to A, take their idea, B, just be cliche, and then C, have other people realize that. Yeah. And be like, oh, well, you know, you're just doing this because of that. Right. But that's why, like, Hollywood, when The Hunger Games came out, after that movie came, after the first one came out, it was popular to have like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, so even like, when the books came out, like how many years before the films?
So many.
The post-dichotomistic? Yeah. I still love those though. Yeah. But I've read a lot of them growing up. Yeah.
Because it's the same concept, but it's like, how good are your characters? So then, especially for me, I try to really hone in on who my characters are and try to make them special. Because the story, no matter what, is going to be like all these other movies and stories that have already been told. Yeah.
Oh, then there's people that, is it Wattpad?
What's that?
The Wattpad or whatever, the one where you can write on. WATT.
Maybe. I've never heard of it.
Wattpad. Anyways, people like write fan fiction and stuff on there, but that's how, have you heard of, it's on Netflix, the movie After? It's about, I think it was basically a fanfic of like meeting Harry Styles or something and falling in love and stuff like that.
Oh dear.
But like people like that get Netflix gigs. Yeah. So it's like, well, I'm pretty sure it was based on like a fanfic idea.
Yeah. Well, that's
and same with 50 Shades, right? No.
Oh yeah. No, that was based on, it was like this weird twisted version of Twilight. Yeah. But Whiplash, that movie about the drummer. And then the really mean, I think it was a college professor or just a guy. I didn't fully watch it because I'm not a huge fan of the main actor. But that original story was, they went to a film fest. And then another company was like, let's make it better. We like this. So then they gave him a bigger budget and they recasted and they reshot it.
And then when does that ever happen?
It happens, but it's not necessarily an every year thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one, but I know some of the cast members.
Yeah. But I think that's like the biggest issue is with our degrees, in order to make a living right now, it's like we have to like go to school to be teachers, or because then you can teach in that field.
Yeah, but then that's even more, you need your master's to teach.
Exactly, and certifications.
At least at like a collegiate level. Yeah. Otherwise, it would just be a regular bachelor's to teach high school or little kid. No little kids
No
gonna want to
one-
learn
and-
about your movies,
Right?
but I could teach them finger painting or something.
All right, kids, we gonna paint Monet with our fingers.
Yes, that's doable.
I
Impressionism.
feel like there's not as much creativity. I mean, even the new movie that just came out,
yeah.
Soul. Have you seen that yet?
I've
The Disney
seen
Pixar? Or is it
trailers.
just Disney. I watched it with my parents, and the main character had the same issue where he's always wanted to be this jazz musician, like where he traveled and like played at shows, but he was stuck being a band teacher.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he can't do what he wants to do because he's a band teacher, and he has like a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah. Side note: the animation is amazing. Pixar's
Animation's
gotten so
so
much better.
good.
Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I saw a little
relatable.
documentary on Soul, like the artist who drew
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like they came up with the idea. It was really cool. But it's hard to do what we want to do because
Yeah.
we don't have money.
Right.
That's
the kicker.
Yeah.
Or like people who have money or know people with money.
Yes,
It's all about
exactly.
networking.
And I hate networking.
It's hard because I feel like people don't want to talk to
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Or my anxiety is like, they don't like you. Like, why even try? And I'm like,
Well, it's also this preconceived notion of we are women
I
in
was
the
just going to
creative
say that.
field.
We're females.
Yeah.
So.
And especially here, what I've seen more popular male photographers make it in Minneapolis
It's
over
always
women.
been that way.
I know.
Like.
And it's hard.
Even in like
But-
my art history, my photo criticism and history stuff, it's always men.
Yeah, and even in our production classes in college, like when I first started, I was with Katie, and we like stuck together because we were the only women, surrounded by like 10, 15 men.
How many years was that you guys were just the two of you?
2 of us until Megan came, and then we grabbed
Was that
Megan.
2 years?
2 or 3.
Okay.
Well,
Well, obviously you're not gonna let her sit
Right?
by herself or whatever.
100%. So it was the 3 of us, and still more men. Like, what's with all these dudes?
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of them. But
At
like,
least
we're
mine
really
was
good friends with.
split. It was actually, it was majority, at least from my painting classes, it seemed to be more female based.
That's
But everything
good.
else was evenly split.
Okay.
Oh, we had
Photography too?
yeah, and
Okay.
Mark was in that with me too.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
split. But I took one class. It was like drawing 101 was mixed in with the higher levels.
Oh.
So she would obviously grade us differently,
Yeah.
but we'd all be in the same classroom, and she'd be like, "Okay, you guys are doing." Sometimes it would get a little bit more difficult later in the semester. She'd be like, "Okay, the 4 and 500 ones, like go do this. The 1 to 2s or whatever, go over here and do this or whatever it was." But there's a lot of hockey guys just
Oh my God. Oh, because
struggling so
well,
bad.
all the athletes at our school, I would say like 80% of the athletes
Yeah.
were going into the athletic field for
Yeah.
a degree. So like even in our film classes,
They
you
thought
would-
it was an easy
Yep.
A is what they were thinking.
yeah, but not with our film professor. He was tough, and he was like known as like,
Yeah.
don't take our film classes because you're gonna fail if you're not into this.
Yeah.
It's like any math class.
Well, yeah, and they weed people out who
Yep.
aren't serious about it. And I was like, guys, come do drawing with Shannon.
oh, that's
She'll
why.
be so nice to you.
Well, that's why I took, because I had to get another art credit, so I
Yeah.
took the mixed media, which I'm like, I'm good at collage and stuff. This should be easy.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
first
who
one,
did you have it with?
I had the mean one.
Susan.
Well, she wasn't.
Did you
She
have
wasn't.
Susan?
I think
had
yeah.
Susan.
She wasn't mean, but she
She's
was
critical.
very critical.
Like she doesn't want to, because she knows like some people are just here for,
Oh, all of us
like
in
the
that
hockey
entire
guys.
class.
Just
that
there.
entire class.
but she's more critical of the higher ups. But like, I think she has stuff that she likes, so she's biased to that. But
Yeah.
she's mean, but
I
as a
wouldn't say-
professor should be.
yeah,
if
I
that
wouldn't
makes
say
sense.
she's. I guess if you're sensitive, she's mean.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're not sensitive, she's like meh.
Yeah, she says some things, and I would just be like, sure,
Yep.
continue just doing
Yep,
what I'm doing,
yep,
because I'm like, I
100%.
like it the way I'm doing it.
I know.
So, but everyone has their preferences, and everyone, going back to like just art in general, has like what was I gonna say? It's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, I love films that you hate, and
Oh,
vice
right.
versa.
Yep.
And same with like art and stuff. That's the hardest thing. You got to get enough people liking your stuff to build like a fan base to make money that way.
I was listening to, I don't know who, I was listening to a podcast with Peter McKinnon and his friend Maddie, who's also a photographer. Mm-hmm. And they talked about TikTok, how no matter what you want to create, there is someone who will watch your video.
I will watch anybody's videos on TikTok.
Exactly.
I'm that person. They have 12 likes. I will still watch it all the way through just to see.
Yeah. So it's kind of reassuring that no matter what we make, there will always be at least one person who's like, I actually genuinely like that, and I don't know who you are.
Which is a good thing with the internet, because you can at least get it out there and have more people see it.
Yeah.
But also there's more room for critiques.
Yes.
And bullying.
I don't take... I guess with the few things that I've put out on like Instagram, I've gotten a few comments from like just strangers.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I'm more interested in what my friends have to say. Yeah. So if I see someone like comment on something, it's like, okay, cool. I'm glad that you thought to comment.
Yeah. They're like,
but I'm more concerned about how like my friend Marcus from college, what he thinks, so I
always get the comment like, come look at us. We love your stuff. Like, look at our page.
We need a brand ambassador. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, that stuff. I'm like, oh, great. That's who I'm reaching.
Your profile image isn't even a real person.
No, or they don't even have one.
Yeah.
When people slide into your DMs, too, and you're like, leave me alone.
So I think the overall most difficult struggle to being a creative person, aside fighting to get your degree.
I know what you're going to say.
Passing...
Yes.
Passing all of your classes, graduating, which is also difficult.
Yes.
And then once you're graduated, finding a job, because you have to pay off your student loans, otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have...
I haven't made a dent in mine.
I feel like
but my coworker I was talking to you about, she found herself he's not rich.
Oh, find yourself
a good working husband. Yeah. He helped pay off her debt.
See, that's very nice of him.
And he's so nice too.
Yeah. But I mean, like us, we don't have husbands that make a lot of
prospects. Money. Nobody, especially during the whole 2020 coronavirus. I was doing Bumble. Nobody.
Bumble's scary.
But it's also nice because then you have to be like, 6 foot rule. Wear your mask. We're on a date, but we're walking out in a park far away from each other. Yeah. But I went on walks with people. I was like, this is nice.
But once you graduate and you have your degree and you have to try to find any job so you can actually start to survive. Yes. Because you're no longer in the dorms, you're in a house. If you're lucky, you have roommates.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of in this stage of, well, now what?
You're like in limbo.
Yeah. Because the jobs that you want, you need experience or you need to build a portfolio.
Yep.
And if you don't have the time to do that because you're working a 9 to 5,
yep, it's
this endless cycle of like, well, crap.
Yep.
So what was I going to say that you knew? Say it.
That you got to keep creating your stuff.
Yeah.
You lose motivation.
Right? No, that's
the struggle part. Like afterwards.
Biggest part is not getting tired.
I don't remember the last time I painted an actual painting. It was probably
when you were finishing your capstone.
Yeah,
your capstone.
Like I've done doodles. That does not count.
No, because you didn't like whip out the oil paints. On an easel.
Which I need to toss on mine because they're old. I need to get new ones. Purge because I'm sure they're separating.
Can mix in like a clear to revive them.
I don't know. They're
it might be
cheap
easier
paints anyways. Yes. I bought them from Michael's. Like, no, they're not the good stuff.
But the suckiest thing is when you're working a 9 to 5, especially like a 9 to 5 that's not your career, that's just like a placeholder.
Yeah.
When you get home, like you're tired.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're physically and emotionally drained, especially if you work customer service.
Right. Both of us do.
I can't tell you.
One night I'll be fine coming home and I'll be ready and you'll just be tired.
Yeah. It's
opposite. And then so we have to be like, we have to be in sync in order to like work on combined projects. Yeah. Otherwise,
because a lot of the projects that I want to do, I like the group aspect to it Because that's when my brain actually starts working. Like, the
then
gears
you're
start
jumping off
turning.
ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I'm stuck alone in a project, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Like, let me go on Tumblr and Pinterest.
Yeah.
What are some
Pinterest
prompts?
has saved my
What are some
butt.
pictures or something I can just kind of snowball off of?
Yeah.
It's easier because I can sit at a desk for a little bit at my job, and so I can kind of like look up stuff or like write story ideas down. Granted, I don't have a degree in writing. I took a couple of like writing classes.
I took every single writing
not to your
class.
extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been like I
But
talked
that's
in the
good.
last podcast trying to do poetry. At least that I can
Yeah.
like write stuff down at work. I can't pull out a canvas and
Oh,
start
right.
painting at
You
work.
imagine, like, if someone walks in to, like, search for their home improvement
Yeah.
object, and they just see you painting in the back.
Yeah. What is what? Did she work here? What's happening?
Does she work here? It's like, yeah, I'll be with you in a moment. Let me just wash my paintbrush.
So I can write down ideas, but then I get home and it's just all
You're
ambition's
drained.
gone.
Yeah, especially when you work customer service, you're dealing with every single type of personality. Every single type.
Just one person
One
could
person.
ruin your whole day.
It blows my mind how human beings can treat other human beings
Yeah. Yep.
over a phone.
Yep. I think it was nastier this year
Oh,
than any other
100%.
year.
Yeah.
Just because of
Like, we've gotten sworn at by people
Yeah.
because they can't do what they want to do. And I'm like, people are dying.
take a year off, people.
Like,
Come on.
There are much bigger issues at hand right now.
Yeah.
Be lucky you're still alive when
Did I-
so many people are losing people.
Yeah. Did I tell you that one of my managers was working over at a different location and he had 6 women
Oh, that's yes.
cry because they couldn't get their tile in time for the projects, or
That
it was like a discontinued or back ordered or something. I was like, to break down and cry over something like that. But this is probably what they've been looking forward to because of everything going on. That like,
I
this
mean,
is my thing. I gotta get
I'm
this
sorry,
done.
but if your biggest goal this year is to fix your bathroom
yeah, renovate.
and you can't do that and you have a breakdown,
I feel like
then
there's
you
more
need to
at
go to
play.
therapy.
There's more at play.
You need
I'm
to
sure.
find a lovely person who is trained to talk to you.
But 6 people in one
Yeah.
day. I was like, what? Glad I don't work over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why it's like we took a couple weekends off, like a couple days off,
we
just
didn't
to
get really anything
we
done.
didn't do anything because
No. We were recuperating.
exactly
From
like
the
it
work.
takes like 4 days to just like
Yeah.
come back to life in a way.
The thing is, I have enough PTO for 2 weeks off.
Oh yeah,
But I can't use it because we don't have enough people at
we're
my job.
understaffed, so
Yeah.
you have to come into work. That's where I'm at because someone
Yeah.
who is a full time is leaving. So I'm like, well, I can't take any vacation off
Yeah.
because we don't have enough people to cover. And it's to the point where it's like, well, I'm gonna be in this loop because I can't afford to make films
Yeah.
unless it's like extremely low budget. Because
And
even
then
to
it's
shoot,
like, is that even going to lead anywhere?
oh exactly,
You know?
like the film that we shot during the spring, early summer, that was, I mean, we still spent money.
But not a lot. But
Not a
like there was
lot.
still.
There's
yeah.
still, yeah.
We
Which
had to
I think that was
improvise
the
with
cheapest
sets.
film we've ever made.
That's the big thing I think is sets
Yes.
with what you want to do with a lot of stuff.
I think, honestly, the cheapest film I ever made was that period piece.
Because you already worked it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I looked up how much it actually cost to shoot there, and it was like a couple $100 for 1 hour. And
Yeah.
we spent like a lot of time.
Yeah, you're like the benefits of working here and
Yeah.
doing tours.
Yeah, 100%. I had a whole Victorian mansion to myself and an entire ship, like an iron ore / oil ship to ourselves, so we could shoot. And I think the most money I spent was on a couple cheeseburgers to feed Sam and Adam.
The boys
And
needed
then-
sustenance.
And then Lauren bought fabric for one of the dresses, but the mansion already had so many pieces of clothing that we
Yeah.
could just throw on them.
Yeah, I was an impromptu maid in the film,
Yeah,
and I
right.
literally just wore what they had in the
Yeah.
closet of like.
Wasn't that like crazy?
Yeah.
It still blows my mind how, as we had like no light kits or anything, it was literally.
It looked pretty good too.
For someone who literally just like, we got to get this done.
Yeah.
Because I had to do some reshoots too.
Yeah. And I think that helps actually, at least for me, being under pressure to get stuff done. That's why school was so nice. Like, you had a deadline.
Yep.
You got to meet it. And now it's just like, you don't really have to. You want to. But is anything going to happen with it?
Yeah.
It's the sucky part. Because even if you put so much work into it, you're not working towards a grade anymore.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're working towards profit. But then that's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So it's just, and then if you're sitting on work, it's like,
yeah,
it's like kind of staring you at the face and just being like
the
what are you
films,
gonna do about it?
Like two of the Mind and then Parallel, the super short.
You've fully written both,
yes,
right?
They are both done, but both require a lot of money. I've spent, if not $2,000 on just some of the props for Of the Mind. And we're still not done prop hunting. Mm-hmm. Like, there's still, like, 2 or 3 things that we really got to get.
And you only have technically one person in the film, but you need her to get off work in order to shoot everything.
Well, and we have... That's, like, my Achilles heel, right? That phrase, Achilles heel?
I guess so.
My flaw is that I love period piece stories. So with this one... We could have just made it the half of the film that's just with the one actress, but instead I'm like, you know what? I'm a write a whole flashback set in the 50s.
But it adds more.
It helps tell the story, which is why I knew we had to do it.
Yeah.
But also by shooting.
Well, I guess there's technically more than just her, but she is basically the front runner, and everyone else is just kind of like fillers, except for the main doctor.
Yeah.
So I guess two people that you need their schedules synced. Yeah.
Well, I mean, even with the flashbacks, there's only one scene where the doctor and the main character are in the same scene at the same time looking at each other. Mm-hmm. But the rest is separate. So, like, it'd be so easy to shoot separately.
Yeah.
But it's also, are we going to have to pay money to shoot in this hospital?
Yep. And we already found a couple locations. Haven't contacted them yet until, like, the time is right.
Because COVID.
And COVID.
Literally.
We could do exterior shots, but again, we probably have to ask them to do it on their property. Yep. But, like, I already have the contacts ready to, like, send out.
Oh, yeah. We've had this drafted for over a year.
Yeah.
Like, I remember.
And that building's, like, scheduled to be torn down. I think they're still fighting it.
Good. Because we got to get in there. Can you imagine? Like, oh.
Well, they've already let somebody shoot in there before. I found.
We saw that film.
It ended up on.
You showed me.
Yeah.
You forced me to see
Amazon. I needed you to see it so you could see the interior.
I that was smart.
And also what they allowed in there.
Oh my god, if they don't allow our film, but they allowed that. I'll be so upset. That will come out of my mouth. If they're like, sorry, we can't. I'll be like, but you let this guy make this film?
I feel like it was almost like a college student.
Oh, it was showing that he didn't have a degree in filmmaking.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention.
This is my hugest pet peeve. Because there's people like the Peter McKinnons of the world who push and they drive to make great photos and videos.
Yeah.
They push and they're so humble about it. And then you have the guys.
I don't mind that they're men.
Well, yeah. But then you have the guys who watch one Tarantino film and they think that they are the best filmmaker in the entire world and they have zero experience.
It's always Tarantino.
I hate Tarantino films. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I've ever watched.
That's my most unpopular opinion.
Because I don't think I've ever watched any of his.
Every single one of his films has a woman being physically or verbally abused on camera. And that doesn't have to happen. This is a rant for another day. But it's just obnoxious when, like, for me, I'm pushing so hard to make films. Like, I have a degree in this and I graduated with pretty decent awards from the university for my ability in making films, and I'm kind of stuck here and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, haven't seen Kill Bill,
and some people
he
love
wrote
them.
Dazed and Confused. Haven't watched it, but my dad
some people
loved that
love
movie.
These films because in a way
he wrote Little Nicky. No,
I've never seen. I try not to watch his movies.
I thought Adam Sandler would have made that one. He's the star of it. Like, I feel like he would be the one to have written that. Is this right?
In some of his films, like with like Kill Bill, like there is some women empowerment, but it's like for him, in order for a woman to be strong and independent, they have to be broken first, and that's not always the case.
No, yeah.
It's like I don't need to watch a woman get raped on camera.
Yeah. For
her to seek revenge and be, you know, the woman on top. It's like you don't have to show it. Mm-hmm. You can state it. You can, you know, there's ways of showing it.
But it's that's like, his like archetype.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even in, what was it, The Hateful Eight, the first time you see a woman on camera, she's got a black eye.
Okay. That one I heard was good, but I never watched it.
Yeah. I don't know. I got issues
Same with Kill Bill. Never watched it though.
I got issues. But
but I don't think I've watched a lot of the cult classics.
I'm more into period piece of films.
Right, yeah.
Like Imitation Game is one of my favorite films of all time.
I haven't watched that one.
It's so good.
I'm sorry.
It also helps with the score.
That yeah.
Like the music score is one of the best music scores I've ever heard.
Yeah, I watch anything. I'm sorry.
You do watch, and that sometimes that's good. I am like Netflix is really pushing it for me.
Have you watched Bridgerton?
No.
Because that one is a period piece one.
Well, everyone is saying that it's just sex-filled.
It's a lot of sex, but it's...
That's stupid. It's not plot-worthy. Name a sex scene that's plot-worthy in any film.
No, it's more
I know one, but you don't have to see it.
Falling in love is the premise of like that.
I want to make the next Indiana Jones film, but not like Indiana Jones.
But that's
like
the thing.
Action, adventure, fun.
Yes. Because you grew up on Indiana Jones.
I did.
Laura Croft, Tomb Raider, like, so that's what you want to do.
I've always wanted to be an archaeologist.
But like so many of that stuff is like, and even The Mummy.
I love The Mummy.
A lot of it is like, you need to make it somewhat like a twist different.
Yeah. That's why I'm really hoping that the story I'm working on, I'm trying to write it as like an actual novel first. Because the chances of this actually getting made is a slim to none.
Right.
Because the actors who I have in mind to really help drive these characters, by the time I finish this, they're going to be like in their 50s.
Yeah.
And one of them's already like pushing 40.
And I think it's good to have somebody in mind, but I think that's another one of your Achilles heel moments.
That is another one of my flaws. I have one person in mind.
You hone in and I'm like, just no. no. Just, there's going to be another one coming.
Right. Which is, you know, but
well,
it's
that's
like
good to have an idea, so then you know what you're
looking
for
someone
as like a director or a casting director, I guess.
Well, and it's hard to write a story if you don't know what your character looks like. Like you can assume like, okay, black curly hair, lean build, but still strong, tall.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that can be any guy. But it's like once you really have what he looks like, you can start to see facial expressions and mannerisms, and it's just easier for me at least to create a character. But that's another struggle,
right?
Is I'm never gonna get some of these big actors because you have to pay them like $1 million.
Right.
I'm like, I don't have.
Someone needs to buy
I don't
the
even
rights
have
from you,
$1,000.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a case for some of your work that you'll just be credited as like a writer.
And that sucks because the director gets all the praise, not the writer.
You at least have a foot in the door.
Yeah.
To be like, I did this. Like, I wrote this storyline.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like stunties, like stunt guys. They have their reel of all these like all these big movies that they've been in, but they're just the stunt double.
Yeah.
You know, they don't get the praise.
Yeah. And I think once they not latch on, but like they work with somebody enough and they look like them and stuff, it's like they stick with them.
Yep.
And if it's a big wig actor, good for you, because you're getting a good paycheck.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially if that actor's character doesn't die in the story.
Oh yeah.
Like if they keep going, it's like, oh yeah. But I think that's I chose a field that
both did.
Demands a lot of money. That's why Hollywood films like Titanic, that movie was $200 million to make.
And that was back in what?
That was so long ago. Yeah, it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was, imagine
inflation, how much is that?
Well, to be fair, if they remade the Titanic now, it would be all CG.
Oh, yeah.
They built like a miniature Titanic.
That's one thing I don't, Titanic. I love technology, but I also hate it.
Yeah. Well, that's why like a lot of, Corridor Digital, the those creators, Nico and Sam from Stillwater, which is 20 minutes away from us.
Right over there.
Right. Literally down that highway. They try to do as much practically. And then most of the time they'll put CG over it, but it's a good reference point.
Yeah.
It's like even like the simplest things like with the Paralyn, you're like, how do you do this practically? Because I have all these big ideas.
Because I'm like, I ain't helping you.
Right?
With
it's like we don't have the ability for the VFX.
I don't know how to do any of that. I didn't go to animation school.
That's another
girl.
struggle is we don't have the time to pick up more skills in our fields.
Yeah.
To make it better and to be like, a 2-person team. It's just a rant of us.
Right, I know.
Struggling.
And then going back to like the CGI and stuff and like the technology, I never grew up doing digital drawings. I was always traditional media.
Yep.
Pen to paper. So then everyone's like, this is a huge thing now. Everyone's showing their digital art.
You have like a tablet to draw
on
and
stuff.
stuff.
Now I do.
Yeah.
It took me however long to get it and to figure out
how to use
which
it.
one to get. So I just got like a Microsoft Surface Pro, which is not even a tablet.
Yeah.
Technically, it's
you can download all the
laptop.
programs.
Yeah, so I pay for the Adobe.
Yeah.
So I can use all their drawing elements and stuff. But like, it's slow moving. I usually do everything on paper, like scan it or take a picture of it, put it on there, and then just kind of work on trace work.
I mean, that's how you
just
get
to get
better.
the feel of
everything. That's how artists get better. Is you look at something and then you try to draw like that. It's like with me, I'll think like, how would Roger Deakins set up this shot? Because he is such a role model in the realm of cinematography. And, if it's not like I'm copying his shots, but it's like, okay, if he was going to do this, like what would I interpret him to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm not him and he is not me.
Right.
Even if I think kind of like him, I'm still going to have a different product.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is good. Because then I'm not, like, I wouldn't never want to copy Roger Deakins.
Right, yeah.
He has so much intelligence, even for lighting, whereas I would prefer to shoot everything in natural light, because I just hate light kits.
It's just the easier way to do it.
Yeah. But sometimes having good lighting, I mean, that's what makes a film, is your lighting.
Same with, like, photos and stuff.
Yeah,
natural light is great. But if you don't have the proper studio lighting when you're doing stuff
another
inside,
struggle is we don't have a studio. We don't have a space to.
I wish we just had enough.
In.
We made enough to rent a space to do all that stuff, or have enough money for me to put a down payment on a house so we can like do a room.
Yeah.
Just for studio purposes, if it's like an office room or like a basement, just a huge or something, basement. That would be
just
great.
To have the space. I think that's like for a lot of people. Like once you're out of college, like okay, now what? It's like it's a nonstop hustle, but it's also you have to think realistically where okay, you have to pay bills. So are you going to work at a grocery store? Or are you going to work at a position where you could potentially level up?
Right. And you have to just work your way to get in there.
Exactly. And that may take like 3 years to level up in that job. But it's also like, okay, do I have 3 years to waste on this?
And like internships are a thing. I didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
I did one at the Art Institute up in Duluth. They have galleries and stuff. So that I have on my resume that I did for a year. But now that I'm like looking for other stuff, I was like, well, maybe an internship. They all are like just for college students. I was like, just because I'm 27, like,
right?
What? Like, why can't I get an internship, even if it's unpaid? Like, just to put on my resume to be like, hey, I have experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's not paid, but it's experience.
I think
I've seen that too, and I'm like, why?
I mean, yeah, like how do you get experience without
anyone giving you the opportunity?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, we can go around downtown, shoot a bunch of stuff, edit it real nice, and put it out on social media. And maybe that will get you to get a like from a brand. Yeah. But that might be it. Right. It's like, okay, Sony knows I exist, but they'll never ever sponsor me. Or I'll never be a brand ambassador for Sony.
Right. And that's the thing too, like a lot of these younger kids and even like people before that were like the OG YouTubers and stuff, they just kind of stumbled into it. But now so many kids want to be YouTube famous.
Yeah, because it's easy money. You don't need a degree.
But it isn't that easy.
No.
Like to get a footholding. But I've seen a lot of creators that I don't necessarily like that have broken into the world because of YouTube or like Vine or TikTok.
Yeah, they all came from Vine and TikTok and it came to YouTube.
And then they earned money that way.
Yep.
And then they funded their, I don't know if I'd call it passions for some of them, but like the other creative endeavors. Some people, yes, it's awesome. Like Peter, didn't he start out with that and then use that money towards like doing what he wants?
And now he's shooting commercials for like cars and, you know, like that's huge.
And then I don't want to drag anybody, but I feel like she always gets dragged anyways. But Gabby Hanna made money, put out 2 poetry books now, and they are trash. Like, but she has the funds to find a publisher to do all this and to put them out.
It's the publisher saying, well, she has a couple million subscribers.
Yeah, she can make us money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It comes down to, can you make this brand money?
Yeah.
Which absolutely sucks. That's why producers are like, well, we want attractive actors, so people will want to watch them.
I hate that too. I'm like, I don't look like that. Why am I watching this?
Exactly. And it's like, well, I can't pitch you a story because I don't write sex scenes. I don't even write makeout scenes.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that any movie you watch has one of those, unless it's like a Disney animated film. Like, really. Yeah. So,
I mean,
it's like, I don't got time for that.
Right.
So I can't make HBO money because I don't have any of that.
HBO always has the sex appeal in there.
Right? They have the most attractive actors, big names, and they got no time for little old me.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because then that allows me to stay true to what I want to write, but it's also, I have no money to create, to bring to life what I write.
All you can really do is the paper, but then you have to find somebody to...
A publisher.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want to self-publish.
Because then that doesn't really get you a lot. Because you can easily do that stuff on Amazon. Again, bringing it back to that film.
It can also
he could easily just put it on there. They probably just have to go through a reviewing process. And they can easily throw it up there. Like, Amazon's the easiest place to self-publish anything.
It can hurt you in a way, because if you self-publish and then you write another story and you bring it to a publisher, they'll look at that and be like, well, you already self-published. You don't need us. So it can hurt you.
I didn't know about that.
That it can hurt.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So, and that's also, you know, it's, yeah.
I wonder if any, well, no, you'd still have copyrights to it because you published it yourself.
Yeah. But you don't have the, I mean, it's weird because you don't get like a nice hardcover with a pretty photo. Right, it has to be simple.
Yep.
Even with some publishers, you have to have a lot of money to foot that initial bill.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, even if you want to write, you have to have money.
Except for some of them are dicks. So.
Yeah, it's not, it comes down to money. Like, do you have money? Yes or no. If you say no, then it's like, well, crap.
I need to find me a rich ass husband.
Yeah. But it's like,
I'm not as pretty as those Instagram models.
Yeah. I mean,
but I'm kind of funny. I can try.
Yeah. I have a dashing personality, but don't look at me.
I might not be a 10, but if you pay for my surgeries, I could become a 10. Bump this 6 to a 10.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't dissuade me? Dissuade me from making films? Deter me from making films?
There's another word.
As long as Lauren wants to keep acting with, like, in the film. I think that's also the hardest part, is I don't have money to get paid actors.
And it's funny because she's never, like, wanted to, like, act.
Yep. Right, like, and she's been in every single one of my films.
She's a very sciencey person. Yeah. Who wants a career in the sciences. Yeah. And it's so funny. But she does a good job.
Exactly. And that's why it's really tough.
Or in writing.
Oh, she's a better writer than I am.
Yeah. Science and writing. But, like,
which is so weird. Her left and right brain are, like,
in sync.
Yeah.
She's that 1%. She's going to take over the world.
Yeah, literally. But she might bump into something along the way.
It's a little clumsy. It's okay.
I don't know. We still fighting the good fight.
Yeah. I haven't hit 30 yet, so hopefully something happens before I hit the big 3-0. Either I own my own art gallery, even if I'm selling other people's work. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Maybe I could get my foot in the door and actually making a profit off of art. Or I could marry rich. and then do what I want.
Right. That's why with
I got
Lauren's
a couple years
husband's new job, I'm like, Lauren, just quit your job and write full time.
Not yet though, but like eventually down the line she could.
Yeah.
Well, once he's like officially stabilized.
Oh yeah,
it's
100%.
only been a couple of months.
Yeah.
So. Gotta think logically too. Can't just be like, oh, I quit, and like, oh wait, they cut me again because of COVID.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, that's another part where it's like I don't want to risk quitting the current job that I have for another one because the one I have is super safe. I am considered essential. I get health, all that.
I made the first round of cuts. I'm still here.
Yeah.
So.
Because you have seniority now.
Yeah, I have seniority.
Which is very nice to have.
Yeah. And even though they won't give me a raise, probably, they still pretty much like me. And I'm decent at what I do. Yeah. Even though this last month has been garbage for my commissions. It's
right.
It's fine.
I don't know. Well, even with the one short film, it's literally 3 pages long. It's like 2.5 pages, something like that.
Oh, the
Parallel.
Yeah.
It's literally the shortest of shorts I have ever shorted.
Yeah.
And we still have to spend money to find a location. And we're not even 100% sure we can get that specific location.
Yeah, because there's so many rules and variables and things that you need to have a contract filled out and okay, we can shoot here, we can do this, and this. So it's like...
I think the only real prop that's in it is a bunch of mason jars.
The big...
And we already have those.
Yeah. Oh, I just bought more.
Yeah, exactly. So
my sweet potatoes.
Yeah. So there's not even a ton of money involved, but it's still we need to split a couple $100.
Yeah, just for a venue.
Yeah, just for a location. A simple location. Yep. One location that's literally going to take a day to shoot because it's 3 pages. And
there's nobody else that's... Because, you're not really allowed to do it at Airbnbs.
No. You need, a permit.
Yeah, and even Airbnb. Then, they won't accept it sometimes.
Yeah. No. Especially us. We have no money.
And the location that you're thinking of, there's no wedding venue type things that are anything close. Yeah. Maybe the one at Park Point, but I don't know if they rent that out.
Oh, right. Yeah, no.
Yeah. What is it called?
It's just something a house? Building. Yeah. It's just a beach building.
Is it the beach house? I thought there was another name for it, but...
Yeah. We don't have money. That's the main thing. But
yeah,
eventually
money
we'll figure
and time,
it out. Right? Yeah.
Because it's we work 9 to 5s, but we have to commute, so it's basically working an 8 to 6.
Oh yeah. So 100%. I mean, it's on a good day, it's a 43-minute drive. On a bad day,
on a good day, it's under 30 minutes for me to get there. To get home is another story. It's probably at least 30 minutes, if not 35. Yeah.
Yep. But going home, it's always add another 10 minutes. And it, at first with COVID, it was so easy because you got to work and back home so quickly. It's oh, this is great. I can handle a commute. Yeah. But now that everyone is going back to work, it's oh, I cannot do this. And
it's expensive to live on the west side of the cities. It's cheaper over here. Yeah. So.
Yep. But it's also, you're compensating with gas.
Yeah.
So it's okay,
because the places that were in budget over there were garbage.
I know. That's another thing. It's we live in a very nice apartment.
The last place we were at wasn't bad, but it wasn't
updated.
Yeah, no, it was really old. It was old.
It's 70s.
It's when you look up $1 million houses here versus LA.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, 100%.
We were living in LA.
This shack in LA is $1 million, but this 8-room mansion is the same price. Makes zero sense. But, well, I mean, I'm not going to stop the good fight.
Right, no, I'm not either.
I would like to get a film that we write and we shoot into the Sundance Festival.
I'll be a crotchety old lady yelling at kids, painting on my porch.
The lady from Howl's Moving Castle.
Just painting plein air on my porch. And be get out of my yard, kids. I'm painting here.
You whip a paintbrush at them. I mean, I feel that's another thing. It's once you realize you're a creative person, you can't stop.
Yeah.
It's every other job seems boring. I rarely get to do anything creative with my job.
Yeah.
It's I've done a couple videos for marketing, But
I'm trying to get into helping with social media since one of our marketing managers left, but haven't heard anything back yet because
at
my
least
boss
he
is so
acknowledged
busy.
it.
Yes. But he's so busy because we're all just stretched thin.
Yep.
And they're training new people.
At least he acknowledged you. Like with mine, like the marketing director, he realizes we have to have a video person, like someone to make video content.
But he isn't going to pay the dough for a specific
The director
position.
doesn't want to because they don't see a need for it. Which is disappointing because there's so many, like, digital media is...
It's underappreciated.
It's underappreciated, but in some context, it's in the right business. Like, that's all they think about is how do we get this on Instagram? How do we promote?
Like, they're good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
So
know
it's
what
like,
they're
it's
doing.
kind of sad that some businesses don't see that.
Yeah, and don't want to pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just like, we're just going to
Especially
try and do it our way.
IT, a couple years ago, had me certified in social media marketing.
Yeah, I've been working on the Google Garage whatever certification. Working on that.
Yeah, and it's like I am technically a certified social media marketer. I understand the ins and outs.
The SEO and the what is the other one? Something with an M.
I don't remember.
Something
That was
M.
2
S
years
something
ago.
M. SOM.
But you know, because of COVID, we can't do a whole lot. You know, to begin
and
with,
you don't want to promote. Well,
we can't promote because at the beginning of COVID, we were promoting stuff and people freaked out. They're like, "Why are you promoting this when we can't even come?" I'm like, "You have a point.
Like
you are correct. Why are we when I can't even be on site? So why are we?" So hopefully after a certain someone is inaugurated, everything will get better.
Vaccines start pushing. I'm gonna get shot up.
Oh, 100%.
Give me that.
I'm for it.
Like,
I want to be able to like make things again. So like, yes, give me the vaccine.
Yeah, I've like people. It's been all over socials, but like, I've eaten worse.
Right. If you swam in a public pool, don't worry about what's in the vaccine.
Right? Yeah.
I think COVID has really put in perspective of, okay, crap. Yeah, we need money and time to do what we want to do.
It makes you take a step back and actually think, and you're just like, I've been wasting my whole years after college.
Yeah.
And it's opened my eyes, and now that I want to do more stuff, I can't.
Exactly. Like, as soon as you have that realization, COVID hit, and you're like, I can't. And with some people, they got to work from home, or, you know, where they can do stuff.
Yep.
It's like, okay, yeah, you do a little work, and then you do what you want. But for us, we are stuck working at work on site. So it's like I can't be creative.
Yeah.
Which
it's
sucks. But
we're working towards a better future for our creative selves.
Yeah.
And just our higher selves in general.
Yeah. Put a crystal on my forehead and tell me everything's going to be okay.
Right. You always got to know somebody in this business.
I hate knowing someone.
In the arts, in the creative world. You got to know somebody to get in there.
I don't like people. I'm afraid of the outside world.
It's like I want to say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
But it's more like a 30.
Customer service has drained
30,
me from wanting
70.
to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah. But it's probably because we see people that aren't into what we're into.
100%.
Like,
well, a lot of the people we deal with are retired or stay-at-home moms.
Right.
Who their husbands are doing all the work. Yep. So it's like, oh yeah, you guys already have money. You get to do what you want. But instead you're screaming at me because you don't get to come look at the flowers in the middle of winter and, you know, get the specific shaped marble that you've always wanted. But you didn't always want it because you just saw it on Pinterest 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know what to do. Or should we just go to a casino and start counting cards?
Was this podcast about creativity or money?
Money, 100%. It's about the fact that no one can do what they want to do because money. Yeah. Unless you're Mitch McConnell and you are worth $23 million and won't give anyone.
Or Jeff Bezos.
At least he worked hard.
Yeah.
But now he's just selfish. But like Mitch McConnell just kind of like fell into it.
Yeah, how did he get
I don't really
there?
know a whole lot about Mitch McConnell, only that he's a demon who looks like a turtle, and he's an insult to turtles all around the world. I will leave it at that.
Yes.
We're gonna, I don't know.
I gotta let the dog out. He's crying right now.
Benjamin, are you crying because we don't have money? Or that Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle?
Lavish life of treats.
Yeah,
and
you don't even pay rent. Okay, we'll go. I don't know. Come up with another film, I guess, because all I can do right now is write poorly.
It's something. It's getting somewhere. Yeah, that's another thing. Don't give up. Just keep pushing through.
I mean, you gotta push,
creative.
but keep your mental health in check.
Yes.
If you're still here listening to this, even though it's been like over an hour, keep your mental health in check. And then once you think that your mental health is in check, then you can start to create.
Yes.
Because...
Or, create when you're depressed too, because I've done that. Sometimes
I have not.
Sometimes
I
it comes
can't.
out really nice.
Oh, that's good. I can't.
A lot of
I shut down.
musicians, that's how a lot of their stuff comes about.
Lucky.
Pain turns into magic.
Not me. I think my anger can help.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's a whole other story. But yeah, okay, we're leaving you with turtles and anger and mental health.
And creativity.
The
main thing about this.
Money.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.